TWM podcast.
Hello and thank you for downloading this latest pay-per-view review courtesy of TWM podcast. This should be a double-headed pay-per-view review, but it's not, and I'm going to explain why in just a few minutes. But first, let me get all of the spiel out of the way. This is a TWM podcast that brings you all of the best wrestling content 6 days a week, available on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, Podbean, TuneIn, YouTube, and wherever else you get your pods. TWM Podcast has got 2 brand new sponsors. We are brought to you first by We Love Sport, the fantastic app that finds you your nearest sports bar showcasing the latest WWE pay-per-view events. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book your front row seats, giving you the best view to the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days. Make sure you don't miss a second of any of it. Download the We Love Sport app. You can get it on the App Store, Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co. Also, if you're in the market for wrestling swag, we have partnered with WrestleCrate. You can use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up for a monthly subscription and you'll receive a free autographed item in your box. That's TWM Wrestling at wrestlecrate.co.uk. Right then, this was meant to be a double header, 2 different podcasts in 2 different places, covering Worlds Collide and the Royal Rumble. Me and Shirley were going to cover Worlds Collide, and then you were going to hear a right after Royal Rumble reaction from Dan, Joe, and the aforementioned Drunk Neil, who makes his second appearance on the podcast. Me and Shirley just finished recording Worlds Collide, and it went really, really well. It was a really, really, really fun record and discussion. I've then now checked the audio file, and it's corrupted, and I can't get it back. And neither of us now have the time to redo the review, which is a massive shame and a major annoyance. But there's nothing you can do about it. It's one of those things that's just lost to the ethers of time, if you will. So I'm going to quickly just run through our thoughts on Worlds Collide. We thought the opening match in the pre-show, Mia Yim and Kayla Ray, was really, really good. We both really enjoyed it. We discussed how Ilya Dragunov got the crowd back on side, and I was discussing how WWE have really improved the character of Ilya Dragunov, in my opinion. It was a really good match. A lot of abs between Ilya Dragunov and Finn Balor. We were both very, very, very excited for Jordan Devlin winning the Cruiserweight title, and I was very, very excited they'd finally changed the name of the Cruiserweight title to the fucking NXT Cruiserweight title, rather than just having it as the WWE Cruiserweight title and just renaming it. It bugged me. We also spoke about how Travis Banks had an amazing performance in this, and we hope that it leads to more opportunities for him, because he deserves a lot better than what he currently gets now in the WWE. We spoke about how DOI and Mustache Manning gave Shirley flashbacks to OG Progress times. We spoke about how we should have been a Progress meme, and we both really, really liked that match. It was fantastic, probably the best match of the night. We were both really annoyed that Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley got so little time, but they still did well with the time they had. It was just a bit disappointing. And we talked about how the main event was really, really fun, in spite of the fact that Alexander Wolf got knocked out really early on, and how we want to see a Roderick Strong versus Volta match somewhere down the road. Shirley gave it a B-. I gave it an A. It was a very, 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 very fun show. I'm really annoyed as well that we missed out on the full review. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play some ads, and then from our brand new sponsors, and then we're going to go right into the Rumble review from the boys, and then you'll hear me at the end talking about predictions and doing some little plugs and stuff at the end. Okay, I am sorry that the Worlds Collide review has not come out. Maybe down the line, sorry, a little bit of anger, windy pops there. Maybe down the line, me and Shirley will re-record and we'll put it out as a separate review somewhere down the road. So once again, apologies, the Worlds Collide review is not here, but we still have near enough a full hour of Joe and Dan and Neil, after a few drinks, reviewing the Royal Rumble. So that will happen after these messages.
TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the with fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bar showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book front row seats, giving you the best views of the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days, making sure you don't miss a second of the action. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co.
TWM Podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly themed monthly wrestling subscription service to bring you a fantastic deal. Now, if you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at WrestleCrate.co.uk, you will receive a free autographed item inside your first crate. Now, WrestleCrate brings you the best swag from the biggest companies and names in the wrestling world. We're talking t-shirts, photos, pins, DVDs, vinyl figures, and loads more from WWE, Progress, Shakara, NXT, Fight Club Pro, and loads more. That's WrestleCrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling for a free autographed item, all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM.
Listen, this place ain't blessed. This place is a mess. And by this place, I mean my house. And by this house, I mean everyone in it, because we have been drinking. I cannot believe that somebody in the drinking game Royal Rumble Street sweepstake drew number 1 in the men's rumble and number 30 in the women's rumble. At this point, if you are listening to this podcast, you probably know who each of those were. So you know how much that the 2 other people in this podcast have drunk. Hello, my name is Joseph. This is my first pay-per-view review for TWM Wrestling at TWM Wrestle on every social media platform. And I am gone, finished. But joining me is somebody who has not been on a podcast for a minute. He is actually the head honcho. He runs things. He is the guy that you actually look to for decisions. I'm here with Dan Lloyd.
I really feel like I've made a bad decision by all of tonight.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the guy who makes all of our business decisions. I want you to look at that and just note that. Note that. That's a soundbite that you need to take for the rest of the year, because we've been doing big things. Big things have been popping for TWM Wrestling. And that's exactly what he just said. So just, note that down. And with us, we have a very special guest. Dan was always going to be here. Me and Dan, we ride together, we die together. We're bad boys for life, especially when it comes to wrestling. But we have a very special guest. This guest, he's not really been with us for that often. He's joined us on one podcast exactly before, because he watched NXT UK for the first time and he wanted to talk about ass. Am I wrong, drunk Neil?
Well, I mean, I came for ass and I wasn't disappointed. This is probably going to get cut. I'll just say something to bridge the gap. Carbonated cola flavored soft drink.
Lightly salted tortilla chips.
Welcome to the podcast.
In case you haven't judged from the energy levels here, Neil is the one who drew what he drew in the sweepstake. So I'm just going to get on with it before we all break down from delirium. I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
I agree.
You agree? See, the boss has made the decision, so we go ahead with it. I just put in the wrong password to my phone if you want to know how drunk I am. Because that's where the notes are. We're talking around the pre-show very, very quickly. Shucky ducky quack quack, drink. Right, there are 2 shows on pre-show. We're just going to talk about them very, very briefly as bullet points for people that have been regularly watching the product, which is neither Dan, who left me Raw Talk to deal with, or Neil, who literally only watches the Royal Rumble once a year. So if you guys have anything to interject with, that'll be fine. Sheamus beat Shorty G in the first match on the pre-show.
In a shock to no one.
That guy was small.
Alright, Vince. In the other match, we had the really weird Latinx ghetto going on, where they can only compete for the US title, which proves they should probably build that wall. Andrade beat Humberto Carrillo.
Neil, what did you think about this match?
Neil says something inappropriate.
I'm really not sure that should run. Like, I'm really not sure that should run.
Okay, let's go.
No. We're leaving it in.
All right.
And I'm just going to remember around 4 minutes that you said something really bad. Yeah, it's not the best, is it? But the match was fine. It was 3 very, very good-looking people doing what they do best. Be good-looking and, well, other stuff, you know? Like, there's good, really, really good style of Lucha Libre wrestling, which we don't often see, and I completely understand why they've done this, but the US title thing is weird. Maybe it'll change after the end of WrestleMania, because they're clearly building something. Unless Dominic gets involved, and, well, actually, to be fair, guys, we need to talk about Dominic's performance at World Collide. No, I'm joking. Right, and we get to the main show, which we actually did watch in full. Full disclosure, during the pre-show, I was cooking, and these guys were helping me. How was the food, everyone?
It was fantastic.
I enjoyed it.
100% just putting myself over here on this semi-drunk podcast. Match number 1 was Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns in a 4 counts anywhere match. I feel like I said that wrong. I don't know why.
Falls count anywhere, mate.
Yeah, exactly. It's falls count anywhere, not... Yeah, I don't know.
I think it said full counts anywhere.
Yeah, fuck everything, innit?
Everyone counts everywhere.
You know what? That's a philosophy we need to carry forward.
Yeah. Exactly. Or maybe the counts for the friends we made along the way.
You know, this is why we have you here, Neil.
No, like, this is why I want you on every podcast, Neil. You're good at... You looked me dead in the eye and asked why. I know you heard him ask why, but you need to know that he looked me dead in the eye. Make sure we had the full lot and asked why.
Wait, is this the match with the toilet?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was. I mean, as far as scripted pugilism goes, this was quite good in terms of the theatrics, I'd say.
Well, there you are. That's
straight from the horse's mouth. Exactly. That's all you need to hear about Reigns versus Corbin.
Not much meat.
Like, you know what? I haven't really opened this the best way. I need to say this now. Neil only watches one pay-per-view every year. Neil only watches one pay-per-view every year because he thinks only one pay-per-view every year is worth it. And you know what? He might not be wrong. Neil only watches the Royal Rumble. And if he's saying that about this match... It wasn't my favourite, but it was definitely a possible match then.
Oh yeah, it was possible. I really liked the finish. I think ending the match on top of the dugout was quite a cool visual. The rest of the match is kind of... It was what it was. It was 2 larger guys brawling around the ring.
It's what I call
brawling around the arena.
It's what I call run and gun, and it's something I don't like.
Yeah.
It's definitely a WWE thing, you know. Like, you've seen it a bit in AEW, but not too much, because AEW don't really do this kind of match that often. And credit to them for that. But I definitely call this kind of match run and gun, and it's just like... It's a very rare couple of wrestlers that can keep this from feeling monotonous. And they did everything they could to not, but that wasn't down to the wrestlers involved. Did that make sense? You know, we had intervention from the Heels of Futures Past. Sorry, Ziggler and Rude. It's probably actually easier to just say Ziggler and Rude than my made-up nickname for them. But you know what? I like to feel clever.
We could always call them what Neil called them.
Oh, go on then.
David Coulthard and what was the other one you said? The son of
God damn it, Neil.
I wasn't going to say his name, but there we go.
I need to note that down. 8 minutes. Yeah, all right.
Neil strikes again.
Neil strikes again.
Alternatively, I mean, you could just say it's David. Like those two people are the fusion of like together they create David Coulthard. Their fusion is broken up. Coulthard's fusion is broken up.
I thought Coulthard was Ziggler.
Yeah, but they both look like Coulthard. If Coulthard fused together, if they fuse together, you get Coulthard.
Okay.
Or put Patara earrings on Dragon Ball Z, all that shit.
The only thing I have to say about this discussion is dum 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 dum. But the Usos came out and interfered with David Coulthard if he was two people, and nothing else.
Jesus Christ.
I know, it's really, really annoying. My sister's gonna wake up.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns won by pinning Baron Corbin on what was it? It was
on top of the logo.
On top of the logo. That's definitely quite an image. So credit to WWE for coming up with that. That's incredible. And then we had the Women's Rumble, and I'm gonna just open this up to Dan and then Neil. What did you remember? Because we have drank a lot. Because Neil fucked me.
No.
Right, so what I remember
That's a slow burner.
What I remember was, so we did sweepstakes for the men's and the women's Royal Rumble. We each got a randomly generated number, and I got Dana Brooke. I don't really need to say more than that. You know that it didn't end well for me.
Was your pick better than my pick? Question.
I can't remember your pick.
I remember my pick. I'm considering what Dana Brooke has been up to. Shout out to Big Man Dave. She knows the answer to Sinbad's question, everybody.
What is Sinbad's question?
Oh, Sinbad's question is how big is Batista's dick? Sinbad is a guy from the old wrestling forum. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Isn't Sinbad a sailor?
No, I know, but like there was a guy called Sinbad from an old wrestling forum. And the wrestling forum used to do shoot wrestling interviews with wrestlers who were willing to talk to them. And the guy Sinbad always asked the same question. And you know what that question was, Neil? How big is Batista's dick?
But did we find out how big?
No one knows.
Why don't we ask Batista?
Well, we can ask Dana Brooke now. Anyway.
Who was your pick?
Tamina.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Joseph's pick was Tamina, mine was Dana Brooke, and Neil, meanwhile, got Shayna Baszler.
Is that all you remember? Well, like, what?
I don't just remember that. I remember Bianca Belair having a great showing.
She is everything. I've said this on Wednesday Night Wars, which you can hear on Thursday, which will never not be confusing. But yes, I love Bianca Belair. I do. She's incredible. Do you want to know what? I've got a friend who hates. Well, he doesn't hate women's wrestling. He really he's all about. But for some reason, it doesn't capture him the same way. But he said to me this week, Bianca Belair makes me not want to change the channel, and I think that says a lot for you know. Like, she has everything that she needs to be successful in this company.
She does.
And everything that she needs to be successful outside of the company. So she won't be successful in this company. Neil, what are your memories? Oh, do you have something else?
Yeah, I have one other memory, and that is that by the end of the match, Beth Phoenix looked like she dipped her head in spaghetti bolognese. That was nasty. There was a lot of blood. It seemed like a very innocuous bump at the time, but those are usually the ones that will get you.
Well, what I will say is, and I'll say this from experience, you bleed a lot from that. Doesn't matter what part of the head you hit, you bleed a lot from the head. I'm aware, didn't it?
No.
Cheers to that. You know, we've got a rugby player and a ex-UFC trainee here talking. What are you saying?
Yeah, a ball fell on my head once, and yeah, so I know what it's like.
I was talking about a Rumble fan.
So, you know, growing up around the Attitude Era and the noughties, I think, it was good to see, what's her face?
Kelly.
No, Kelly. And Mickey James, was it?
She wasn't in there
Mickey
today.
James was Molly Holly.
Molly Holly, that's it.
Mighty Molly.
Mighty Molly.
I'm getting
specifically Molly Holly in the guys that she helps the Hurricane in, which is a nice callback because the Hurricane made the debut. Made a return last year, right? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Can't remember.
But it was a while. It was. Yeah, it was nice.
It was,
I like that.
and it was good to see Beth Phoenix because, you know, people, I remember when I stopped watching back in 2007, 2008ish, and having the final pick, number 30, that was entertaining in more ways than one.
Shayna Baszler is
Shayna Baszler, yeah? Shayna Baszler.
Look, yeah. It's been a long night. I'm tired.
Is she blazing a trail right now, Shayna Baszler?
You know what? She is. Because I don't think there's been a women's competitor her age. Because there have been women's competitors that have killed it, that have been older than her. Right? You're talking about Mae Young in the Attitude Era. Yeah, exactly. Right? So, but she's incredible because the way that a gimmick is built, and this is the way that a gimmick is built, she will not need to change it. She can still do this for 10 years. And she came in at number 30 and she did exactly what a character should do, which was look everyone up and down and then dash them out the ring. And we suffered then, right? We suffered for this.
We did.
We really suffered this. By the way, notable returns in this Rumble. Naomi. We saw Carmella for the first time in fucking forever.
Yeah.
Otis Dozovich bits, which is weird to say in a women's Rumble.
Also, he was advertised as confirmed for the men's Rumble, and they never showed.
I feel that. He had domestic stuff. So were Rusev and Lashley, and they brought. We'll say this now, so we don't have to mention it again because I don't really want to. The Cut Chronicles. That's my gimmick on Tuesdays. We talk about that on Tuesdays on Raw Talk. But they brought to the back out of the Rumble. Neither of them were cleared. Which is probably why someone else who shouldn't really be cleared was. Let's not do that now. On this day. Dan, do you have anything else to say about the Ladies Rumble?
No, I think it was a great Rumble. I think maybe the wrong person won it. Because that's something we haven't actually spoken about yet. Charlotte Flair picking up her first win of a Royal Rumble. It's pretty much the only thing she hasn't done before today.
What did I say to you before this pay-per-view started? In the interview in the pre-show.
Oh yeah, you said the gobbledygook was going to return with Santina, and Santina would eliminate the gobbledygook and everybody else.
We're going to ignore Santina because she should not have been there. But that is not what I said. I said I felt that they were setting Charlotte up to win the Rumble next year because I thought that the winner would be the runner-up. Would be who would end up being the runner-up, which I find super interesting because Charlotte doesn't have many places to go.
No. It's a very interesting dynamic she's found herself in because she, at the same time, loses probably more than anybody else on the roster in terms of like big names. But she's also faced everybody that there is to face. And in terms of titles, unless Rousey makes a comeback and takes one of the titles, which again, it's the same sort of thing we had last WrestleMania, there's not many more people for her to face.
What do you make of Charlotte winning the Rumble, Neil, as a neutral relative?
I've seen her wrestle twice, I think, or something to that effect. And in both those times, she seemed like domineering and like very, forward with her, the way she acts, portrays herself. And I honestly foresaw that she would win. And I mean, I don't have a real, any real kind of, interest in this modern day kind of scenario that's being painted in wrestling, but I'm kind of glad she won. She seemed like she dominated the Rumble for the majority of it, and I think she deserved it.
Do you think that Shayna Baszler would have been a worthy winner?
Well, I think she what she did in the final bits. She got the eliminations she needed, but she was also the freshest face there. So for someone like Charlotte to exceed expectations and come above that woman whose name I forgot,
Shayna.
That's the one. I think Charlotte deserved it, and I think she deserved it after all that time. That's probably the most coherent response you're going to get from me.
Yeah. You know what? I've got maybe some stuff to say, but you know what? I can deal with that on Tuesday because I've got enough podcasts on Tuesday. Let's move on. The match that probably abused us the most: Bayley versus Lacey.
No. Take it back. Let Neil introduce it.
Neil, go on.
Which one's this? Oh, the one with the black hair.
Yeah.
All right. So, what looked like Bob Fossil from the Mighty Boosh when he dressed up as a woman, versus some bitch who went to Ascot. Yeah. So
I called her MAGA Barbie.
Yeah, MAGA Barbie, Ascot lady, bitch, whatever her name is. Yes. So that was an interesting match. When I just saw Bob Fossil and nothing else. So I wanted Bob Fossil to win.
For our American listeners, just look up Bob Fossil.
Please.
Just look up Bob Fossil. You'll see kind of what Neil means.
You know what? You've got a good chance that you're listening to this on Spotify. Please listen to this on Spotify. I probably should have put it over. But yeah, you've got a good chance to listen to this on Spotify, which means that you can probably minimize this podcast and look up who Bob Fossil is.
He sings a nice song about cheese.
Yes, he does. And you know what? We're going to keep this in because the person who edits this is going to pop him so hard.
Outside of the recognition of Bob Fossil, this match was in a pretty poor place. I don't think too much of the audience was happy with Charlotte's win when they could have had Shayna winning.
Yeah.
And I think the crowd at that point were quite flat, and it was quite a flat match.
This is why they put this here, because I mean this in the nicest way possible. Lacey Evans' gear was incredible. It looked beautiful. It was some of the best gear I've seen her in. It wasn't as good as the time that she came out in gear, which literally referred to Christina Aguilera's Candyman video, which, what from Lacey Evans?
No. Not what I said, but yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, but as everyone stopped. Lacey Evans, as wonderful as her gear looked, she's about as green as her gear. So this was the right place to put this match because
I agree.
Bayley is a wrestler, and she doesn't get credit for this because the other three of her cohort are so out there. She is smooth as silk. She can have freestyle match. She can wrestle a broom. You know that adage that a great wrestler can wrestle a broom?
Yeah.
Bayley can do that. And I think she's the best at that of those four.
What, is he a janitor?
I'd agree with that.
No, it's an old. No,
Because Bob Fossil's a janitor.
Fuck it.
No, that's it.
I've got to let that breathe for a minute before I explain. I've got to explain this to Neil. The wrestling podcast. They say that the best wrestlers can have a good wrestling match with a brew.
What?
The best wrestlers can have a good wrestling match with a brew.
Okay.
That's how good they are at wrestling. And I feel like Bayley is the best at that of her cohort of peers.
Lightly salted tortilla chips.
Even though he drank the least out of all of us, you can see that this evening has affected Neil.
Let's move on. The next match is a match where I kept saying, I'm really, really glad this person isn't black. It was The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan in a strap match.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? Oh, yeah. Oh, this was the Boogeyman versus Bob Dylan's grandson, wasn't it? Or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, that's what you called it.
That's definitely a thing. Do you? In fact, let's start this way. Neil, do you have anything to say about this match?
Yeah. Why is that guy dressed like that? What is his? Why does he wear the mask? Why is his belt like his mask?
Go on, Dan. Explain.
I was literally just about to say the same thing to you,
Oh, you left me with the difficult job. All right. The reason why his belt is his mask is probably because his perception of who he is attached to the belt. And the reason why his perception of who he is attached to the belt is because perception of his effectiveness is attached to that mask. Do you remember me telling you that his persona is split between the Mr. Rogers style children's TV program where he cuts all his promos and the mask that comes out to the ring and kills people?
What is he, Bane?
Yes, we literally did this during the flipping thing. So Dan's got some quotes, and he only started taking quotes from this match. Dan, have you got a quote?
I don't think I did actually get a quote from this match.
Have you got quotes from before this match?
Sure, I will throw out one of Neil's quotes from the actual pay-per-view. For some reason, we were talking about Shawn Michaels.
Oh, this wasn't a pre-show. This wasn't even fucking. We've actually done Neil Day. Like, read everything up to this point.
So we were talking about Shawn Michaels, and I said he's not aged particularly well, and. Again, this is probably not true to what I remember, but Neil started singing, he's just a dyslexic boy. And yeah,
amazing.
That's that. Apart from that, no, I don't have any other quotes.
What that are relevant to this point?
Yeah,
at this point in time,
every other quote comes from the men's Rumble match.
Holy Jesus Christ! Which tells you how much of a mess it is, right down to the winner. Shout out to McIver. Seriously, just shout out to McIver. I've got nothing else to say.
McIver.
You know McIver.
I know, but you said shout out to him, so I'm shouting him out. McIver.
Anyway, did anyone enjoy Dan, talk about this match, please. I don't remember much from it. I was doing food. I vaguely remember.
I thought that I haven't been keeping very up to date with the storyline. I've been kind of in and out and quite busy. But I thought it was very interesting that Daniel Bryan seemed to be the first person who was able to keep The Fiend down for a 2 count with his running knee. I also kind of hated the fact that the strap ended up in just a complete spiral. It looked like a big long strand of fusilli pasta.
That's a really, really specific aesthetic thing to not like. I'm just going to interject there. I know I'm not meant to. I just wanted you to say your piece, but I'm sorry, but
it just caught my eye.
But why don't you like it?
No, I don't mind him not liking it. It's just inevitable, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, I thought it was cool that Brian seems to be the first person who hasn't turned evil after his bout with the Fiend.
Is it because
we'll obviously have to see how it plays out, but
what do you got to say?
I'd just say, is it because he's a resilient loser?
Kind of, but I think he's going to turn now. That's my opinion. I think this is the time, isn't it? I think the Men of Honor need some bolstering. No, that's a nickname that we have for Nakamura, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro.
Okay.
Yeah, because across a few podcasts, because me and Matty agree that they should have a good stable name. I still to this day think that the Undisputed Era should have been called the Dishonored, but you know what? Let's move on.
Did you have any comments about this match?
I think this is 100% the best match that Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt could have put on with the stipulation, and so for that, I think that it deserves at least 4 stars.
Interesting. I don't think I give it 4 stars. I think I give it 3.5.
But do you agree with my statement?
I agree. It's probably the best match they could have put on.
Those two workers could have put on, because they're both 4-star workers. So I think give it 4 stars. This is the thing. It's a shit stipulation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
but
that has to take away from it.
Yeah, it's a shit stipulation, but I think they did the best they could with it. So
yeah, I did like seeing the label locked in with the strap as well.
And what did you say when you saw that locked in?
Oh, you mean the crossface? Should we go to the next match?
Next match is what I thought was the best match of the card.
Oh, with Becky Lynch and Asuka.
Well, yeah, I kept talking about it, so you guys got it in the end.
Yeah,
but
that was an entertaining match, even with the resolution. I know both of you commented on the green substance when Asuka spit that out in the final moment. Yeah, but that was a very good shot, and two very good athletes. And I was kind of expecting some kind of interaction between the two, aside from just, Becky Lynch taunting Asuka with the title. But there was no other interaction after that. I think it would have been good for some, good sportsmanship, for some kind of friendly interaction, but I don't know, I don't really know the full extent of the relationship between the two, so I guess I can't really comment any further.
You know what? Neil is dead on, because I've been watching these two with massive anticipation. My issue isn't actually with the two of them. The two of them, Asuka would be vaguely antagonistic, because Asuka's entire attitude for this feud is, I don't know her. Who is she? Oh, she's her. I'm gonna beat her. My thing is, why have Kairi Sane out there if she's not gonna do anything?
Yeah, I get that.
Why put the gun on the mantelpiece and not have it go off?
Well, has she done anything in the past?
Yes, loads.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I can't explain that.
It's a tag team partner, loads.
Well, maybe she had a come to God moment.
No, this is the thing. They even had the out. She had been in the Women's Rumble and got eliminated.
Well, maybe she.
You just say, oh well, she couldn't accompany Asuka out here because.
Well, maybe she was high.
She wasn't cleared. No, well, come on.
See, you have that point. Fair enough.
Go on.
I have a point.
Go on.
The wrong person won.
Ooh. Now talk to me, Daniel. We got some. Let me add a little bit to quote an absolute legend in combat sports. Let me add a little bit of spice to that, Daniel.
Right. So, as we've seen in the build-up to this match, Asuka was the one person that Becky could not beat. She couldn't beat her. Nothing that she did would ever prove to be enough to beat Asuka. And now she's beaten her. So where does she go? And it makes me worry that they're just gonna go back to basics for Mania and do Becky versus Charlotte.
That is something that I think that you have because of the result of the match we're going to talk about next. I felt like the winner was set in stone for this match. I also feel like we were expecting a different winner for the Rumble.
Yeah.
So I'm super interested. Like also, number one contenders matches, like matches with number one contenderships on the line, are definitely a thing during this season.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but I don't think that they're necessarily gonna pull something like that away from Charlotte. I feel like she has a bit too much, not creative control, but I think she has a lot of clout in the locker room, and I feel personally that if Asuka wins, there's more places to take everybody in the title pictures. Charlotte versus Asuka hasn't been done too much,
and Charlotte has always beaten Asuka.
Yeah, so that opens up another
apart
thing.
from the time that Kairi Sane interfered, which is why I was like, why she's not done anything?
But how many times has she interfered? Just once?
She's in Charlotte. Okay, Asuka has never beaten Charlotte apart from the time that Kairi Sane interfered,
and that was one time only.
That was one time, but that was the time that Kairi Sane was actually available to interfere. Does that make sense?
Right, but how many times have they fought in the past?
They have fought exactly one more time. Wait, hold on. What's the phrasing here? They've fought a lot. They haven't fought a lot. They fought enough, but they fought one more time than, and Kairi Sane is only available once. They've fought enough times that Kairi Sane is only available once. So the one time she was available, yeah.
The big thing that happened between Charlotte and Asuka was that Charlotte was the one to break Asuka's undefeated streak, which had gone on for like 2 years between
WWE.
Well, NXT and main roster WWE.
Okay, that's pretty big then.
Yeah, so I feel like that would have been a better main event for
because
the Raw Women's Championship.
Because Asuka was not a bad guy at that point.
Yeah, but also I feel like it would open up more stuff for Becky, because as she plays kind of a Stone Cold Steve Austin role, like the anti-hero, like she's anti-establishment, everybody's against her.
Which is why,
But this is the thing. The story they've been telling with Becky is, as much as she wants to portray that to the fans, she's not anymore. She's not anymore. When Asuka spats the mist in her eyes, and I cannot believe we're going in depth here. No, you know what? I can, because this is one of my favourite things in WWE right now. When Asuka spat mist in her eyes at the contract signing, she had 50 billion people offering her a towel to wipe the shit out of her eyes. And you know what? Credit to Becky Lynch as a character. She refused all of it. Just demanded a mic and then cut a promo. But the fact that they were all willing tells you that they know who their cash cow is. And that's part of the story that they're telling, because it's really, really interesting that because of WWE's position in the wrestling world, they have to incorporate that into their stories. Either with GMs or otherwise. And I know they're trying to move away from GMs, so this is a or otherwise situation.
I mean, it sounds like the indie band getting their scoring their big commercial hit is Pink Floyd and Money. Money. It's like once you get to that point, do you stop? Do you continue with your indie shenanigans, or do you go the way of the capitalist? And I guess Becky Lynch really had no choice but to, when she became the man, as you explained before, she conquered the establishment, but now she is the establishment. So, I think this is completely unrelated to the rest of the story, but she can only go heel from here, like in the future.
You heard it here first, from a man who doesn't watch the product, who's had a bit to drink. I'd like you to note that down. and they're two particular people who I don't even know how that went. I slept through your predictions, to be honest. I care, but I don't care that much. I'd just like you to know that down. Sorry, it's the part of my thing. Two things I'd like to know as a man in my status. What did you think of the Street Profits, Neil?
Oh, those two guys. They were entertaining. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming the guy was beatboxing people's introductory music, their themes. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but I can't really comment on much else.
Okay. And what did you think of Booker T on commentary for the Men's Rumble?
I love Booker T.
Everyone loves Booker T. Do you love Booker T?
I love Booker T.
Shucky?
Ducky.
Quack?
Can you dig it, sucker?
Now let's talk about the Men's Rumble. This is the last thing we have to talk about before we can all go home. So I'm sure everyone's going to be doing this.
Yes, please.
Really, really fucking hell.
Right.
So Neil, who did you have at number one?
Yeah.
This is your sweepstake.
So my pick was number one, and that just so happened to be Brock Lesnar.
R.I.P. our livers. R.I.P. our livers.
Should I just read out the amount of people that he eliminated?
No, because we know how many people he eliminated, and it was 14.
Yeah, I know, but the people he eliminated. Do you remember everyone he eliminated? Because I fucking don't.
He eliminated...
Go on.
Elias.
Go on.
Eric Rowan.
Oh, go on.
Rey Mysterio.
That's not in order, but yes, he definitely did.
Kofi Kingston.
Yes.
Big E.
Yes.
John Morrison.
Yes.
Shelton Benjamin.
Yes.
Montel Vontavious Porter.
Oh my fucking god.
Who else did he eliminate? Okay, now I'm starting to draw a blank. Oh, Keith Lee, Braun Strowman.
Yes.
Okay, I've got 10 out of 14, but it's 5 o'clock in the morning and my brain is not working anymore. Who did I miss?
Who did you miss? You got Matt Nakamura, yeah? You got Shelton Benjamin, you got Cesaro.
I didn't say Nakamura or Cesaro.
Yeah, okay, so Cesaro. Yeah, exactly. You forgot the Men of Honor, which is just a really sad indictment of where Ring of Honor is these days. You can hear more about that at the Indie Wrestling Podcast on Wednesdays. Who else? Who the fuck else?
Oh, and the last one was Robert Roode that I didn't remember.
Yeah, because you looked it up on your phone, you dickhead.
Yeah. Because you were struggling to find it.
Yeah, of course I was. Because you didn't do it in order. I thought you were going to try and do it in order. Really, really excited about Keith Lee being in the Rumble. He didn't look out of place at all.
No.
Most of these guys just got yeeted the fuck.
Yeah.
But once Ricochet came in and once Drew McIntyre came in, Drew McIntyre eliminated Brock Lesnar. Yeah.
After a nice little throwback from Ricochet.
Yeah.
Kicking Brock Lesnar right in the dick.
Well, I said from day... you can look this up on social media. I said they're going to do something with Ricochet because Brock did something with Ricochet. My entire thing with Brock Lesnar was that he wasn't going to win. Not because he's not Brock Lesnar, because he's clearly Brock Lesnar, right? Mm-hmm. You saw that. How many drinks you give out? Mad amount of drinks, right? What?
I don't know what you're saying anymore. It's very late.
Yes. Early? Late? I don't know. But yeah, it's just a lot. So many drinks he gave. You know what? I know that's not the point I was making, but it's late for me as well. But long story short, it got yeeted out by Drew McIntyre, and that should have been a huge clue. Ricochet finally kicked Brock Lesnar in the dick in the process, which was my original point, because Ricochet got kicked in the dick on Raw, because that's just basic storytelling. Neil, take away that impression.
What? That he keeps kicking him in the dick?
Yes.
And why does he keep kicking him in the dick?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you know, there's only so many times a man can get kicked in the dick. It's like that Bob Dylan song, how many dicks can you kick in the dick before you can kick in the dick? I don't know, you know. This is an absolute shame.
Basically, Ricochet was saying that was for my dick.
I just want to point out, I think
Casey Catanaro was backstage just applauding.
I think we've spent about 3 minutes talking about Brock Lesnar being kicked in the dick, so let's move on to my actual favourite point of the entire evening, and that was the return of Edge.
On this day, I see clearly. Please don't ask me the next word.
I mean, who would have thought that after 9 years, almost 9 years of being in retirement, he would finally come back, you know, following his wife earlier in the night, Beth Phoenix.
Who fucking, what the fuck was, what? Had a dream, what?
And he put on a great show. He put on an absolutely fantastic show, making it to the final 3 before he was eliminated by the big dog.
My favourite thing in life, and it really comforted me actually, considering the situation he was in, was that he has not improved his spear whatsoever. No, like if you think about it, it's a really, really good thing to happen to Edge.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Edge has gone, nah, I'm going full in my spears, innit? You'll just be like, no, Edge, retire. Nah, Edge's spears are still the same, which is what he needs. It's exactly what he needs.
One thing I was surprised about from the men's side of the Rumble,
yes,
was that there were only 2 guys who were called up from NXT, being Keith Lee and Matt Riddle, and neither of them got a very strong showing compared to the 12 women who...
And Bianca Belair taking the most eliminations.
Yeah.
And Bianca Belair is going to keep that because she's relatively young. And this is something I wanted to say during the Women's Rumble. We're going to talk about it now because Women's Rumble's great. And Women's Wrestling, just... You know what? I'm not even going to talk about that. Women's Wrestling at this point. She's going to keep that record forever because she's relatively young. She holds the physical record for a bunch of stuff in NXT that they test you on when you come in. And Neil, you don't know this. When she came into the NXT, when we come into NXT, they test you on a bunch of stuff. Right? Like just, you know, physical stuff. And she's broken every record. Men or women.
Wow.
Shannon.
Which one is this? The one with the massive ponytail?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's why she has EST in her ponytail. She's that strongest, fastest, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Yeah, EST of her brand. Was everyone... Did you feel the winner was appropriate?
I thought the winner was appropriate. I think since he eliminated Brock Lesnar, I maybe thought that he wasn't going to get the victory.
It's like...
I thought he was just going to go into a program with Brock from that. But I guess it shows that if you're going to eliminate somebody like Brock Lesnar, you need to win the thing.
Good point. I feel like it leaves SmackDown... Oh, SmackDown is getting Elimination Chamber exclusively, I think.
Maybe.
Because I don't think Raw has the roster for... Well, it has the male roster, definitely has. Raw have got a lot of building to do if they need a female roster. And they can't do it at Super Showdown, which was announced today. Super Showdown was announced today, 27th of September.
27th of February.
I can't believe I'm just tired. February. I knew what I meant, and then I said September because I love Earth, Wind and Fire. But yes, February, and just, yeah. Neil, what were your thoughts on the Rumble? Because I've been a mess.
Well, on the men's Rumble or on the entire event as a whole?
Rumble.
So I'm glad that someone like Dennis Bowman or whatever his name is won. I think it came out of left field and I didn't really expect it, which is good. I know I said his name wrong, I don't care.
To be honest, I still think to this day that whatever you called him is a jobber. Drew McIntyre, man.
That's it.
We'll do this more on Monday.
Oh, also highlight from the men's rumble when MVP came out.
No, read all of Neil's stuff.
When MVP came out, Neil just shouted out, "Is that Taz?" That's all I need to say. That's all I need to say.
It's been a very long time.
All right. If that's all we need to say, then there's only one thing left for us to do. I'm going to start with Dan, because Dan is a fairly regular retro wrestler. Flipping heck. He's a fairly regular watcher of wrestling. Can he grade this pay-per-view?
I would say this was a solid B+. I think the Rumbles themselves were some of the best that we've had in recent memory. I think some of the other matches on the card suffered from storyline and stipulations, but overall, I'd change it to a B, actually.
Just straight B.
Yeah, just straight B.
And you know what? This is the score that I'm really, really interested in. Neil, you watch one pay-per-view a year, and it's always the Royal Rumble. Give it a grade.
Well, if I had to give it a grade, I'd probably grade it 9 pancakes out of 15.
There we go. That's all you need to know about this year's Rumble. 9 pancakes out of 15.
Well, it's definitely better than half, I guess. Like, would you eat all of those pancakes at once?
No, I'm gluten intolerant.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
I'm sorry, but that was incredibly entertaining. Thank you to Dan, Joe, and Drunk Neil for their review of the Royal Rumble right after the show at 4:30 in the morning, after many libations were taken. And once again, apologies that you didn't hear the Worlds Collide review. I am also very annoyed, as I said. Anyway, let's wrap things up. If you want to get in touch with us, before I forget, I need to mention, actually, we did predictions on twitch.tv/TWMWrestle. Thank you, everyone that got involved and was a part of it. We're very, very grateful, and I think just eking out by one. I think we found out it was based on Bayley retaining the SmackDown Women's title. Shirley is still your predictions champion, 5-4, in a very tight affair, and that means that she will be the champion at Mania, because I'm pretty sure we're going to find some challengers and do a big multi-person scramble thing at WrestleMania for Shirley to defend the belt, and hopefully Joe will actually give her the belt back rather than hold it hostage in his house like he's done for the last 2 months. We'll be doing that over Super Showdown, which is in a few weeks, and then whatever pay-per-views, Fastlane, Elimination Chamber, Fight Kick 4, whatever they have over the next few months as we're on the road to WrestleMania. We've got loads of stuff coming up on the road to WrestleMania, some big interviews at TWM Talks. We've got some great articles out right now at twm.news. You can read the review for Royal Rumble for Victoria. You can check out the review of Worlds Collide, because obviously we balls ours up, so you can read Shailene's over at the on twm.news. There's stuff from AEW, NXT, New Japan, British wrestling, all sorts, all over there at twm.news. Social medias, TWM Wrestle, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to us, hit a rating and review, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Acast, and YouTube. We Love Sport, go and download the app, Apple and Google Play Store. We Love Sport UK, go follow them, and WrestleCrate, use the code TWM Wrestling for a free autographed item in your box on wrestlecrate.co.uk. Once again, I know it sounds like I broke a record. I'm so sorry that the Worlds Collide audio ballsed up, so you won't get a Worlds Collide review. Hopefully, an hour of 3 drunk men rambling will make up for it, no question. So, yeah. I'm really, really sorry about the audio messing up there, but at least we got one review rather than no reviews. Thank you very much for listening. Please leave a rating and review. I love you all. I'm at Matt AID. We are at TWM Wrestle. I hope you have a very lovely evening or day or night whenever you're listening to this, and we hope that you hear from us again soon.